This is why I fish. Moments like these. All those teeth marks on it. It's properly scratched up, this. This is a 22 centimetre swim bait. Fish on, come on. Now then, and welcome back to another episode of Adventure Fishing UK. I'm fishing Wyreside Lakes today, which is a carp commercial lake that allows pike fishing over the winter. And the theme is heavy lures, so I'm going to be starting really heavy, sort of ridiculously big kind of things. Then I'm going to scale down to just big, and then I'm going to use some sort of medium big. So I'm going to start really heavy and then move down. I've got the heavy rod set up with me today. It's going to be really good just to try and target some bigger fish in here because they get up to 20, and I'd love a 20 pounder. Had my PB at 14 the other day, so I'm still holding out for that real giant. So you might be thinking, how big is big? So this is what I'm going to be starting off with. This is a crazy big lure sent to me by my mate James, so thanks a lot for that. Really looking forward to using this. Could be too big, could quite comfortably be too big for lure fishing from the bank. I see this as more of a trolling sort of lure, but there's only one way to find out. Savage gear eel, big old tail on it, weighted at the front. Don't know how this is going to swim. I might not use it for long if it's too shallow, but kicking things off with this, hoping to get off to a flying start. Let's go. Just so you can see a close-up of this, very soft, big. I'm worried I might get too many fish snapping at that giant tail. I really don't want to get this snagged on the bottom too because it's such a cool lure, but this is massive. First cast with this. Let's rock and roll. Can't wait to see this coming back in through the water. I reckon the tail's going to be going mad. Look how wild that tail is. I do get the feeling though that it's just too big for this venue. But I'll persist for a bit longer. I can't help but think with this lure that I'm sort of excluding fish under a certain size. And that size is quite high, maybe £7, even then. Pushing it, £6, £7, might just be going for this. Don't think anything smaller will, but I'm happy to be proven wrong on that. Oh, I had a bite then, I think. That really felt like a bite. What a shame, that was probably a really big fish to be going for this. Probably just grabbed the tail. Fish just followed me right in then. I can see where it's gone. It wasn't a big fish, but it was a fish. Come on, go for it. I can't believe it. Something's actually interested in this big lure. Followed me right to the side as well, just didn't dare have a go at it. Can't help but think I'd have had that fish if I'd have had a smaller lure on. Whoa, a fish just followed that in then. I didn't see it while I was connected to the log. Oh no, I just saw its tail splash off. I must have spooked it. Didn't look like it was off in a hurry though. It's not actually a small fish, that. Maybe 5 or 6 pound. Which is right on the cusp of what I said earlier. So I've used that lure for about an hour and a half to 2 hours now. After that whole situation with that fish I got myself in, it just wouldn't take it. It was following it in for about 3 or 4 times. So I'm thinking, rather than waste any more time, I'm going to swap to the smallest lure I'm going to use today. I got a few more options in my box that I'll be putting on later. But for now, just because I really want to catch a couple of fish, I'm swapping over to this tried and tested Rapala X-Wrap Pito. This is still a pretty big lure. This is 20 centimeters long. I'm not even sure they go much bigger than this in size. Mirror carp pattern. As you can imagine, it's going to work exceptionally well here because it's a stocked carp lake. I've been out a few times with this lately. I've had nearly 10 fish, a couple of doubles as well in about 3 trips. So this really is a good lure, and you can actually see all those teeth marks on it. It's properly scratched up, this. Comes with a replacement tail that I'll need to put on soon, I think. But yeah, let's just get a couple of fish, then maybe let's get that big eel on later. Catch a couple of fish, he says. As if it's easy. I can tell you now it's not gonna be. Speaking to a few more anglers on the bank today. People have caught, but it's not been as good as it usually is. Fish on, fish on. Oh, that's not a bad fish. Fish on, come on. It's a nice one. Yes, it's no monster, but it's a start. My finger is bleeding so much, but look at this pike. Not a big one, not really what I had in mind when I put the big lures on, but quite a long fish for its weight especially. So we'll get this fish back and we'll crack on and try catch another. Well, I don't ever really tend to get these because I've watched a lot of videos and sort of learned quite a lot about how to handle pike so that this doesn't happen, but that one got me bad. Oh well, it's nice to be off the mark with a fish. Not quite the big one I want, but definitely nice to just be catching something. So before we stick that big eel on, I got something else to try. This is a natural white fish, F-zett, given to me as a gift by Will from Angling Northwest. So make sure you go check him out on Instagram. That's Angling Northwest. I'll leave the exact name in the description below if I can't leave a link. But if you're into fishing and stuff and you've got an Instagram page, go give him a follow. I'm sure I'd really appreciate it. We're just gonna see how this goes, see what it looks like in the water. But this is a 122 grams, so this is a pretty big lure. So we're just gonna see if any of these big pike fancy having a crack at it. This lure really does look cool. This is a 22 centimeter swim bait. I think there's a fair chance with this. Not the end for the Rapala though, I might get that back on, but we will be using the eel again as it's going dark. Let's just have a look at this action. Yeah, I like the look of that. I think this will work. Just have to get it in front of a fish now, which is the difficult part. Well, the time consuming part. So I've just swapped back over to this Rapala mirror carp because I saw a lot of fish moving right in front of me. And I ran that swim bait right through it a couple of times, and I think they just didn't quite fancy it. Fish, 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 come on! Yes, feels quite nice as well. It's not a small one. Well, it's no giant either. But it's not a small fish. Oh, it's off! It's off! That's infuriating. Had to just take that sweep at it just because it's right next to the bank. Oh, that's what you get for using barbless hooks, I suppose. So that was my second proper fish on of the whole day. I've been here about 5 hours as well. So as promised, we're ending things on the giant Savage Gear eel. There's still time for another fish here. I appreciate it's not been the most action-filled video, and I am sorry for that. So I'll leave a link in the description below to where I came here with my mate Harry, and we had 9 fish overall between us. I'll drop that link below. If you want some fast-paced fishing action, get on that, but there's still plenty of time to catch one on here. This eel is big, bright and colourful. It's just starting to get dark. I've just seen the fish are feeding, but coming across a big pike that'll take this, easier said than done. There's a fish following it. Oh, I just had a good follow. Again, seemed like quite a nice fish too. Second time that's happened, so that'd have probably been two more fish if I'd have just used the same lure all day. Maybe it's just getting their attention. They might not even recognise that it's food just because it's so big. So I'm back over on the Rapala now, just because I could feel like today wasn't quite the day for that eel. Although I do really enjoy using something as audacious as that. Right now is not the moment for it. This is why I fish. Moments like these and sunsets like these. What an unreal view. Just look at that for a sunset behind me. Fantastic to be out fishing, and I don't even mind that I've not caught another one. But if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Really helps the channel, and I'll catch you down the road.